What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. First, before we get into this good news, let me just say a big shout out and thank you to everyone who showed up at that Comic Con meetup, the Gabe El Taib birthday meetup, where Film Threat and Gary and myself and others, the audience, oh my God, what an amazing time. Check out the pictures on the Twats. Really good. And right before we got to that, and we were definitely, I wanted to talk to a couple people about it, we got news about the Gina Carano lawsuit and that it is in fact going forward. And I just thought, let's one more time, for hopefully the last time, let's go over this from the beginning and how we all got here. And while some might point to the tweet we're going to show in a second, I would suggest that this is what actually started the original, let's just say, internal dislike of Gina from Disney and inside employees, is when she refused to put pronouns in her bio. And then finally, in line with R2D2, who apparently is a lesbian, if you ask Mandela Stenberg, boop bop beep. Boop bop beep were the pronouns she added. Thought it was funny, and they did not find that funny at all, of course, and said she was transphobic. And this is what started the whole hubbub, wanted her to go. And this is where I do hope, because the rumor is that apparently Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant and showrunner of The Acolyte, that famed show that everyone loved and totally didn't destroy anything, she was the one that was actually behind the witch hunt, the campaign to get Gina to go with 40 different LGBTQIA plus representatives, a struggle session, essentially, that Gina politely declined, saying she'd rather go out to dinner and take out some choice, select members of that group and take them out to dinner and talk and have a dialogue. No. And so she was on thin ice, right? And then, of course, we saw that Summer of Love, and we saw one side of the country be blamed for it and called all manner of things by other Disney actors that we'll also talk about. But this is the tweet that, of course, Gina didn't write, but she shared and has since been proven oh so fucking correct, all the way up to Donald Trump attempted assassination, and then half the country going, well, isn't it a source essentially like stopping a Hitler before he's born? Well, and that's because of this sentiment. And so that's when Gina reshared this, saying Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? It's not. And this, of course, got horribly changed. Are you comparing Republicans to Jews? No, we're comparing a tactic used to turn half of the population against the other half instead of the actual guilty parties being blamed. And it has been used in far more than just Nazi Germany. And yes, it is being used right now, either on purpose or coincidence or whatever you want to fucking cope it away as. Literally, some of these people, and you can see here, Pascal is one of them, think that everyone voting for Trump is a Nazi, even if they're just Americans who want to see America, for people of all colors and sexualities, to have a better economy, not get in a bunch of wars, and not be embarrassments with a senile dementia patient in charge. So when Pascal, who's allowed to call half of American Nazis and losers, and Mark Ruffalo is allowed to fucking call half of America Nazis and losers, yes, of course. And now, thankfully, Mark Ruffalo, while he is crazy, she just blasted him for making fun of Trump. But, that's fine. Making fun is one thing. The main hypocrisy with the Trump thing was all these people are so self-righteous and they think they're better than us. And then you see, boy, do they just condone death for whoever they don't like politically or otherwise. And again, this will be the big one. And this was the basis of the lawsuit. We've seen now that Gina Carano sues the Walt Disney Company for wrongful termination. This was February 6th. And sex discrimination with Elon Musk's aid. We've seen now that Elon Musk lost a son to the woke mind virus, a son that's now a daughter and all that. So we can see that's why he bought Twitter, and that's why he is funding lawsuits against Disney, of which we will see and have seen many, not the least of which was that 9,000 women suing Disney for pay disparity across their hotels and all that. But in this case, it's how Disney treats its co-stars. Mark Ruffalo, Pedro Pascal. If you want to go the other route, Jack Black, who does things for him, Kyle Gass. We saw that whole incident. And so, yes, the lawsuit went forward. Obviously, there was enough grounds there that Elon was willing to spend money on it and have his lawyers take this to court. And then we saw Disney try to get it thrown out, saying that it was a thing of, which is ironic. They're citing the First Amendment. Meanwhile, Gina's citing the First Amendment. They said, oh, well, Gina's saying that it makes, when she said the thing about let's all be nice to each other, basically, that looks bad on Disney because it was political. Meanwhile, Disney's over here. We see what they're doing political wise, and we see what they let their male co-stars, arguably more offensive rhetoric than what she was saying. And so we were basically left wondering what was going to happen, right? Sort of sounded like the judge was siding with Gina. And now we have she has. So breaking Disney's, this happened just yesterday, Disney's motion to dismiss the Gina Carano's lawsuit has been denied. That means this lawsuit is going forward with the full force of 1,000 suns, and we will move towards discovery, wherein we will get access to all the evidence on both sides, prosecution, defense. It's a lot of scissoring, lawyer and law scissoring, and we get to see what's what. And dear gods above, if we find out that it was in fact a coordinated effort by Leslie Headland against Gina and others, and that it is all based not on equality or sexes, but based on political ideological lines, which I firmly believe is the case, well, that's just going to be good for everyone. And speaking of good for everyone, the question was brought up to Gina, will you settle or are you going to take this to the end? And, shout out to Valiant Renegade. He had a whole video with her. I mean, make sure to go watch that. But if you just want the nuts and bolts of it, she is still of two minds on the subject. On one hand, she sees Disney as someone who has ruined her image and is going to ruin other people like this. And so it's one of those, well, if I don't make a stand now and do this, it'll only get worse. And it's also, though, do I want to spend the rest of my life in court or significant amounts of it in court and arguing? And then instead of focusing on acting and art and all that, I'm essentially an activist against Disney. So it seems like she's weighing those two things. And it seems like what would really, and this seemed to be the genuine consensus or general consensus last night, is that she would probably accept a settlement if it was attached to a large, and I don't mean large settlement, because obviously large, because she has lost a lot of money due to their rhetoric against her. A large apology would be what would probably do it. A large apology and an admittance of guilt. Now, I don't think they'll do that, which means this probably will go to court, which means stay tuned. We might be watching the Gina Carano lawsuit live casted. If it does, I might pull one of those. Either way, let me know what you think of this. Good news all around. Let me know in the comments if you were at the meetup. Shout out, post those pictures, go check those out. I met my heroes and it was even better than I thought. And yes, I'm including Jet. I'm including you, buddy. Shout out. Anyway, be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well, bye.